lovely viewers, you are welcome to Family Law on Africa in Retrospect. I'm your Lady Grace, your host for the next 1 hour. In our previous discussion, our able lawyer Kovna Boateng from Ghana took us through child custody rights. Today, we'll be discussing all about alimony, property and financial settlements, and property distribution upon divorce. And for those of you lovely people joining us for the first time on this program, we would like you to know that Family Law series has been very insightful and you shouldn't miss it for any reason. The subsequent series. We will also appreciate your comments and contributions. Please stay tuned as we enjoy our theme song, Africa, Africa, Africa. Welcome back to Family Law on Africa in Retrospect. Good day, Lawyer Boateng, and thanks so much for joining us on Family Law today. It's always a delight seeing you.
Grateful,
I hope you had a pleasant week.
Here.
Yeah.
Sure, I'm happy to be here.
Okay, so without me wasting much time, please tell us all we need to know about alimony, as you lawyers call it, and property, financial settlement, and property distribution upon divorce.
Very well. Our viewers would see that we have traveled with them from a point to where we are now. We have looked at types of marriages in Ghana. We have looked at the divorce, what it means. We have looked at the entire divorce process. And last week, we looked at some consequential matters that automatically arise upon divorce. We looked at what happens to the children of the marriage. We looked at who takes custody, and we looked at who is supposed to pay maintenance for the sustenance of the children of the marriage. Today, we are looking at matters that pertains to the parties themselves, the spouses themselves. At this juncture, we may not call them spouses because of divorce. They are the verge of divorce, and you know, we are just looking at what would happen as between them from that point regarding alimony. I hope I'm heard clearly.
Yes, you are heard clearly.
Well.
Yes, it is. Please go on.
Very well. So when we talk about alimony, we are talking about money exchange. We are talking about financial provisions that are paid to one party after divorce in a form of compensation. So this can, you know, universally it's always money, but it can also be anything of value which is paid to a party after divorce. So we have factors that the courts would usually take into consideration when they are considering the award of alimony. Let us understand from this point that alimony is in the nature of compensation to a party, because we do know that when people marry, they put in a lot by way of their time, by way of their resources, and everything, so that not legally speaking, and shifting to the realm of maybe sociology, or maybe just speaking to the fact of marriage, you would see that one party would usually sacrifice more than the other party. You hardly get an equal pay, you know, in respect of sacrifice, time, resources, whatever they be. there's always one person who is priming the pump. And there's always one person who, is sustained by the other, one way or the other. So that one person may have contributed financially to the marriage. The other person may have contributed time, which is an equal valuable resource, because the person at home taking care of the children, the person at home for which reason, you did not have thieves burgling your house, for the person at home for which reason your children even had quality education. That person that sacrificed to drive the kids to school and pick them up and fix the meal and do all that, that person could have also built a career for themselves with that time, because that time is also nature's resource to them, for them to use to benefit themselves. But they decided to use it for something of mutual benefit, i.e., to take care of you, maybe as a husband or wife, to raise your children, which you are proud of and you see as your own. It is somebody's time resources that went into that. A lot of times in the marriage circles, and this is not legally speaking, I'm just speaking to the fact of marriage. A lot of times we tend to look at who is making the financial contributions, and we tend to think that that is the greatest contribution to the marriage cause. Only the money, who is bringing the money, who is bringing the money, who is bringing the money. But I mean, if we will sit back and look at it, money itself is a product of time. Those resources came as a result of somebody's time. Yes, and so we do not want to lose focus on non-financial commitments that are not necessarily by way of money. So alimony is coming from this whole background that I've given. It is to make sure that parties, after they have sacrificed one way or the other in the marriage course, and at a point in time when they had to walk away from that commitment, they will not be overreached, or they will not be taken for granted. They will not have to walk away empty-handed. Otherwise, then marriage was going to be very difficult, because immediately people marry, we will all insist on using our time towards acquiring resources for ourselves. Because I know that if worse come to worse and the marriage will have to break down, at the end of the day, it is about what you made for yourself and not what you contributed to, our mutual benefit. And so this is what has given rise to the courts, giving credence to the jurisprudence of alimony, the court setting in to make sure that things are balanced. Nobody is unduly taken advantage of, to make sure that the parties can also start from where they are fruitfully without becoming a burden to themselves and their immediate families, and even to the children of the marriage.
Okay, sir.
Now,
I have a question. So who pays the alimony? Like, who benefits from alimony? Is it the man or woman, or is predominantly women that benefit from alimony? Can you explain? Is there any particular person that benefits, or any particular party that benefits from alimony?
Very well. You have asked a very important question. And I think you have taken a very good observation of society. Yes, it is true, as you have rightly indicated. We tend to think that women are always the beneficiaries of the alimony provision, but that is erroneous. That is wrong. And when we come to the grounds based on which the court will award, you will see that the whole concept of alimony is to help the less advantaged.
Okay.
That is the guiding principle. Who stands to lose upon the divorce? That is the golden question. So it can work the other way around. I mean, if you are married to a big time top CEO wife, and then you spend a lot of your time home as a man taking care of the children, because your wife is in the corporate world. Your wife is on top of, you know, the managerial hierarchy, and will not have time. While she was making all the money, you, the man, took care of the children. You took care of the house. Anytime she came home, you gave the comfort, you know, emotional support, and you know, all the massages you give her after a long day at work. You know,
Yeah.
you have to be compensated for all that. You could have used that energy, that time, into also in furtherance of your own career and life objectives. But
yeah,
you decided to you know, make a sacrifice, and so the court would have to make sure that the man, you are compensated. This belief that women are the sole beneficiaries of alimonies is also because of our backgrounds as Africans.
Okay.
You know, it has a certain cultural perspective, because in our culture, it is men who have to take care of women. And so you see that sometimes you would see some African women who are far richer than their husbands, but will still take maintenance, what we call chop money. We take chop money every day. Yes, when they have monies already. I also know some
keep
men.
Their money hidden.
Yes, I know some men who prefers paying chop money every day, even though their wives are very rich, because that is the source of their ego. It makes them feel that, yes, I'm the man, I'm in charge. I know you have a lot of money, but I'm still maintaining you. You know, it is a grip at the man's ego. Whatever that is, we will leave it to the sociologist and for them to analyze. But yes, to answer your question,
thank you very
both
much,
women
sir.
and men are amenable to the grant of alimony.
Yes, thank you very much, sir. Our brother Aiden Grams, he said he wants to know what alimony is all about. He said, "What is alimony?" Oh, yeah. He said, "Please, what is alimony? I stand to be corrected for the spelling."
Yes.
It's okay, brother.
So I think he's in right in time to catch on our definition of alimony. We are saying it is money or anything by way of value paid as compensation upon divorce to a party. So alimony happens only after divorce. While the marriage is pending, nobody pays alimony. What is paid is maintenance. If you are taking care of your wife, it is called maintenance. You are maintaining your wife or you are maintaining your husband. But after divorce, what you pay to the other party is alimony. So in short and in ordinary term, it is compensation paid to one party of the marriage upon divorce. And we have said that it is termed compensation because it is meant to support that person. It is meant to replace something that that person has lost in the course of the marriage, be it time, resources, energy, and every resource you know, which the person may have committed to the marriage. And the guiding principle is that who stands to lose most upon the divorce? Who stands to lose most? Because let us look at it this way. And I'll be using, of course, men as you know, the usual women benefiting because of our African set. When you marry a woman, you maintain her. You rent a place. You may have even taken her from you know, a lesser community and upgraded her standard of life. The lady who some time ago did not have a taste at luxury, you know, maybe lived with her parents, you know, in a single room. You found her beautiful, you married her, You took her from her parents' house, took her to a plush community, a plush, very expensive community where you live, and gave her luxury. She began to drive, her kids attend a better school. Her taste, even regarding food and delicacies, has changed. She may have amassed respect for herself in society by virtue of her Mrs. status. I mean, if you come from my part of the world, immediately you marry, you are perceived, in a certain, the latest Mrs. in town.
That is why most young women just wait on rich guys to rescue them from generational poverty, as I call it.
Exactly. Yeah. And in fact, it is not something we are worried about, or we should. In fact, to tell you the truth, it may sound harsh, but at least from where I am, that is the case. About 90% of women come to the marriage table with nothing.
Yes.
With nothing.
That is why, ladies, please, it's very important. Please empower yourselves. You should not go into marriage with empty hands. It's very, very, very bad. Please, in this century, you have to be independent. You have to be independent. You have to earn respect. You have to be able to stand on your own 2 feet, not to depend solely on your husband for everything. It's quite disgraceful.
Yes, but unfortunately, maybe this conversation should go to our people back home.
Yes.
They need to get it and get it.
Yeah. Yes.
Their only contribution is their body. They bring their body to the marriage table, and that is all. That is all. Sometimes you may not bring resources quite apart from your body as a woman, but I'm yet to see a resource more valuable than this upstairs: your brains. A very smart woman can make her husband rich in a matter of few months. It all depends on the brains, the contribution they make. But even that is a problem. Even that, a lot of women would go marry, and it's like a safe haven for them. They are going to find refuge in somebody's home and be consumers of whatever has been amassed by the man, and then the little they get then trigger down to their families. They do not see it as an opportunity to join efforts and to also contribute, opinion, business ideas, and general support.
Yes.
And not just being, but that is to digress, a bit. But I think it's also very important that we let it go at it. So back to what I was saying. After you have done all this to the woman, elevating her standard of living and respect that society accords her as a missus. And then all of a sudden, there's divorce. And you cannot cohabit with her in your house that you built before you married her. So she has to go back to where she came from. The law will not allow you to go and dump her in her family house where you picked her. It will be like dropping from a skyscraper. So that is the whole concept. That yes, we know you made her. We know you elevated her. You gave her all this luxury. But if you want to divorce her, give her an equal standard of life until she remarries or until she can be independent. So the law will require that you rent for her in an equally plush area. The law will not allow you to just go and find any accommodation at all. No, You will give her an accommodation just like the one you gave her when you were married to her. Yes, so that she will not feel the impact of the divorce. If any impact at all, it should be lonely nights. Lonely nights without you. It's enough punishment or whatever. But it should not go beyond your absence, then to the shock of having to begin a life that is in sharp contrast with what you provided her when she was married. So if you lived with her in a full house, she had a big compound, couple of cars to go, the law will not allow you to go and rent a 1-bedroom in some slum somewhere. No.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the jurisprudence. These are the reasonings that goes into this whole alimony
Wow.
we are talking about. So if we have the definition and we have the basis, then we can proceed to look at what the courts would consider when granting this alimony.
Okay.
And of course, to reiterate what we have said, that it's not a one-way affair. There's not women always benefiting. We just use men, for example, because of what we always see, but it works the other way round. If your wife is Oprah Winfrey and there's divorce, you can be rich.
Yeah, I have one question again. Yes, you're right, sir. I have another question. Is it possible to lose the right to alimony? And if so, under which circumstance can a divorcee lose the right to alimony?
Is the person talking about how can you lose the right to alimony?
Yes, to alimony, yes, sir.
Yes, when the court make orders, some of them are determinable. They are limited alimony. We will come to types of alimonies. So if it is limited, generally, it is limited by when the party remarries.
Okay.
Because you cannot marry and still be maintained by another man.
Okay.
It is against good sense and conscience, generally. Yes. So when a party remarries, you lose your alimony. And sometimes it will also be limited by the party attaining financial sufficiency.
Okay.
So it will be limited. I think when we get there.
When we get there, you can explain. So please, you can proceed to. Is it property?
Yes, the factors to be considered. The first factor. I know men listening to this, some of them are scared out of their skin. No, there's nothing to be scared about. And I know because of this, somebody will say that they will not marry. Please, it is not a neck hang. Nobody is going to hang you with alimony. The guiding principles in the grant of alimony is ability to pay.
Okay.
The courts do not close their eyes and just award alimony. No. Courts are very reasonable. In fact, courts are reasonable than individuals. Because in the courts, they put all emotions aside.
Okay.
And then they look at the parties' respective positions and their job earnings, their earning capacities. A court will never award alimony without evidence of your job and how much you earn and your expenses and all that. The court will do all that. You may have children somewhere which you are maintaining. You may have families who are dependent on you, your salary. The court will look at all this. So the basic threshold in considering the cost of alimony to be paid is the ability to pay. So no court will award alimony that you cannot pay, because before the court will award the alimony, the court will take evidence of your salary. The court will take evidence of all your dependents. So how much is left? The court would look at how much you have to spend on yourself. Yes, before the court can see that, okay, then you can pay this much.
Okay, sir, I'm not interrupting you. Please, lovely people, if you have any comments, if you have any contribution or question, you can feel free to drop it in the comment section, and our able lawyer will address it. Okay, please, sir, continue.
Okay, so ability to pay is a very important grounds which the court considers when awarding alimony. We also look at the length of the marriage, how long the marriage lasted. So you cannot marry somebody for let's say 2 years and you expect to be given an alimony that will solve all the poverty of you know your life. you cannot bank on someone's you know fortunes. That is against policy, and the court is very watchful of that. So sometimes the court, out of even your conduct, may see that, look, this person may have married this person you know, in anticipation of alimony. They will look at all that, your conduct over the marriage and all that. So an alimony that will be awarded in a marriage less than 10 years will not be equal to alimony that will be awarded in a marriage over 30 years or 40 years. So how long the marriage lasted is also a very important consideration, and it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense because the longer the marriage, the more the sacrifices. Yes, but just when I'm speaking, something just dropped. Is it not possible that a marriage of 3 years may have warranted sacrifices more than a marriage of, let's say, about 30 years?
It's possible.
Since sacrifice may not necessarily go with longevity, it may not go with time. But if 2 years, I sponsor a man in his education, in 2 years of marriage, I use all my life earnings to put a man through university, to put a man through training, to put a man through acquiring skill within 5 years, and the man is now financially sound. Would you say that because the marriage is just 5 years, you know, my alimony shouldn't be something huge? So though longevity, time is one thing the court to look at, it is not the ultimate. It is not the ultimate, because of course, quite apart from the longevity of the marriage, we are also looking at sacrifices, which will come by way of evidence. Yes, so let's leave it there. So time, the length of the marriage. We are also looking at the time it will take for the supported party to remarry or become financially sufficient. The court will also look at that.
Okay.
So if you are divorcing a woman and the woman is 28 years, the court knows that a lady of 28 years still, you know, have the chance of remarrying.
Remarrying,
yes, as compared to divorcing a lady in her 40s or 50s. Yes, there's a low likelihood that she may remarry. So the court may make quite some substantial alimony over some time. Yes, so the chances and the time it will take, if it's possible that you know, she has chances of remarrying, the time it will take for the person to remarry, so that the burden of alimony will be taken off your head. But let me tell you something funny. In most cases, women who are benefiting from very, you know, awesome alimony, very heavy alimony, they tend up not remarrying. What they do is that they get themselves one young guy about half their age, and then they enjoy life. She will never marry the young man, because she knows that immediately she marries the young man, the alimony terminates. So yes, she will be having fun, doing everything, you know, that a married person does, and will not marry take the burden off the ex-husband.
Okay.
I think that is unconscionable.
That is painful. It's really it's really. So we have a lot of contributions here. So let me see if you can if there is anything you need to address, then we do before we proceed. We have Pastor Ade Alabi. Thank you so much for joining us, sir. He said, good to see you. You're looking great. Thank you so much, sir. We are also happy to see you. We have Mama Ademola. Thanks for joining us. Aiden Grams. He says, I'm happy men are also beneficiaries to alimony, with a smile. Okay. He said, okay, in simple English, alimony is like what a spouse gets after divorce or separation. You are right. He said, God bless you, lawyer, for telling the world all the good qualities men add to the lives of women after marriage. Today is going for you, eh? It's going for men. Okay. Thank you. I think we don't have many questions or contributions. Okay, let me check here. Oh, Sister Diana, thank you so much for joining us. Pastor Alabi said highly informative and educative. And Aiden Grams, he said, please, some women too are evil and wicked. They don't even deserve any alimony. Oh, why do you say that, brother? Oh, Sister Melvis Akalifak, she said, I pray God give all men such knowledge. We don't encourage divorce, but if it happens, make sure that the woman is still happy and comfortable. You are very right, Sister Melvis. Thank you so much for joining us. And Brother Fortune, thanks for joining us again. And Brother Aiden Grams, he said, some women out of bad counsel tends to divorce their husbands just to get alimony. But I'm happy to receive this knowledge. God bless you, full-time boss TV. God bless you too. And God bless our able lawyer. He also says there should be a part 1, 2, 3 of this discussion because ladies need to hear this. Yeah, brother, it has been a whole series. We started more than 1 month ago. So please don't miss any of our subsequent series to benefit from the next discussions. Okay. He also says, God bless you, lawyer, for telling the word, all the good qualities. Oh, okay, I've read it already. And I think Sister Diana, he says, beautiful topics. Thank you very much, Sister Diana. We are so glad you've joined us. And she's asking, Sister Diana is asking that, what about people who have been tricked into marrying someone who is really not theirs? And is divorce permitted in this case? For example, you marry a man and later you found out that he is dating someone of the opposite sex. And Aiden, he said, I have a question, lawyer. In a relationship where both families are aware of the movement and their financial spending regarding education, and the lady or guy fails to marry as per the agreement, will there be any form of alimony to be paid, though there was no legal marriage? I think Brother Aiden is asking about, is it civil union? Is it called civil union in under the law? Civil union, right? Maybe if you stay with the person.
Well, let me say this.
Yeah.
Alimony only occurs upon divorce. And if we are talking about divorce, we are talking about marriage properly so-called. So if you never married, then matters of alimony will not come in. If somebody promises to marry you and out of that promise, you rely on it and you take certain steps in respect of that promise, and the person fails to marry you, there's an action in the civil realm called breach of promise to marry.
Okay.
So you can sue that person in court for compensation. I think it's a topic that we can look at.
Yeah, okay. So what about Sister Diana's question? He said, what about people who have been tricked into marrying someone who is really not there too? Like, is divorce permitted in this case? For example, you marry a man and later you found out that he is dating someone of the opposite sex. So is divorce permitted?
Of course.
Yeah.
So if I understand her test, what she is saying is adultery.
Yes.
Because you marry someone and the person is dating someone else, that is adultery. And when we studied divorce,
it's not just any person, but the opposite sex.
What does that mean? As in, if the husband is seeing another man.
The husband is seeing another man.
Oh, okay. Well, that will depend on how you see it.
Okay.
If you see it to be, something you cannot stand, then it will amount to unreasonable behavior on the part of the man. My difficulty is, especially in the laws of some countries, seeing a man seeing another man, can we say that is adultery? Because adultery will connote sexual intercourse with another person of the opposite sex. But in this case, it is the same sex. So can we say that what they even did is sex? Or maybe it is unnatural carnal knowledge?
Maybe.
Apart from the usual woman and man thing, any other thing is termed, especially in Ghanaian law, it is termed as unnatural carnal knowledge. So that is not even a proper carnal knowledge. So you can't say that the person even committed adultery properly, so called. Unless you can say that what the man does with the other man amounts to sex.
Okay.
So can we say that the man and the man thing is sex?
In this modern era, because it happens in some Western cultures. So maybe you thought that your man was straight, that you got married to a straight man, and then later on you discovered that he, instead of dating or committing or cheating on you with another woman, he's cheating on you with another man. So is it possible to seek divorce, or would the court grant divorce based on this? As you know that maybe you married a man, not knowing that you married somebody who dates the opposite sex as well. Yeah.
So in those jurisdictions that allows the same-sex marriage, it will mean that your husband or wife dating another person of the same sex will amount to adultery.
Yes.
It will amount to adultery. But in Ghana, it will be difficult because we do not recognize the same-sex marriage.
And then you cannot.
So if your husband is doing it with another man, what they do, their sexual interaction is unnatural carnal knowledge. In fact, it is a crime. It is criminal.
Okay.
So you cannot say that he has committed adultery.
But based on that, you can seek divorce, right? Based
you can seek divorce, but not on adultery. Not on adultery. You can seek divorce based on those grounds on reasonable behavior.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. And Mama Ademola, she said the post-stress trauma people live with can be depressing. That is after divorce. So it is good to watch, pray, and guided before signing I do. You are very right, Mama. You really need to pray. You cannot just jump into marriage. You are right. So these are all wonderful contributions. Thank you all very much. Please, if you have more questions, feel free to drop them. Our lawyer will address all your concerns. Thank you. Please, sir, go ahead. I think we still have about 15 minutes or 20 minutes.
Yes.
So
the last point the court would consider in the grant is if the spouse has custody of young children, it will mean that that spouse would have to commit a lot of her time or his time into taking care of the children. So that party is still in the business of sacrifice, and that party must be awarded some alimony. It is different from a divorce where all the children are of age. Then nobody would really have to sacrifice in respect of time, you know. But if custody is given to the man and the children are so young, it means the man cannot work from morning to evening as he wishes.
Yeah.
He will have to, you know, get a job that will allow him to still take care of the children. And so he will have to get an alimony to compensate, to make up for that sacrifice that the man or the woman, whichever one has custody of the children, would. So in summary, the factors that the court will consider, we have said that a party's ability to pay, the court will not make any order which will break your neck. We will look at your earning, we will look at your expenditure, your dependents, before the court will ask you to pay anything. We also looked at the length of the marriage. The longer the marriage, it is assumed that the more the sacrifice. And so alimonies may be more lucrative in marriages that lasted long than marriages that survived for a short while. We also talked about the time, the anticipated time it will take for the other party to remarry or to gain a full financial sufficiency. So if the person looking at her age or his age will not be able to marry again, then the alimony may be quite hefty. But on the other way, if the person is young and vibrant and maybe already flirty, it will mean that the person may hook up very soon and may not be giving so much, you know, alimony. And the last one we have said, if a party has custody of the children, that party, because of the continuous sacrifice in respect of taking care of the children, the party will need quite. Now let's look at types of alimony.
Sir, I still have one question, please. I don't know if I will allow you to to move to the next this thing. The next question. Please, what if a woman decides to leave a man without any concrete reason, and then she decides to take the children with her? The man is treating her very well, like she doesn't lack anything at home. She's supposed to be happy and be taking care of her home. And then all of a sudden she decides to leave. Maybe she has found another person that she wants to be with, and she decides to go with the children. Will the man be obliged to pay alimony under this circumstance?
No.
Okay.
No. The courts do not. It is just like a marriage that broke down upon the infidelity of one party.
Okay.
It will be very difficult for that party who is guilty of the infidelity to be awarded any substantial alimony by the court.
Okay.
Because the guiding principle and policy of law is that one cannot benefit from that party's illegality or that party's misdeed. You cannot seek to benefit from your misdeed. Otherwise, a woman will get married, will intentionally, you know, woo a man to marry her, a rich man to marry her, and then after some time she will commit adultery. And
Maybe
then because the man will not stand it, I mean, the outcome will automatically be divorce. And then she will get alimony. No, the court will say that your hands are too dirty. And when you are coming to equity, you come with clean hands. You know, in law, we say equity examines conscience, your conscience. So you cannot kill your father and seek to benefit under the will he made for you. Yes, so if you kill your father and his will is in your benefit, the court will set aside that will. You see, so
that's the right thing to
the
do.
rules are not so mechanical That is why we take evidence. So, I mean, as a cheating wife, I do not think you may even have the courage to ask the judge to give you alimony. But just in case you are shameless and you do, I doubt.
In case you are shameless, eh?
Yes, I doubt the court would listen to you, except in very extreme circumstances where the court will have to go beyond your foolishness and maybe look at the children. But that would be maintenance for the children, not alimony for you. There's difference between maintenance and alimony.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Please, you are free to proceed now.
Yeah, so to do this quick, the first type of alimony is the permanent type. We have permanent alimony there. That is one that will last till the party remarries or dies. And this one mostly will go for marriages that lasted for so long, and the parties are so old. The lady or the man who is moving away has no chance of remarrying and do not have any substantial source of income. The court may make orders that the well-to-do partner pays alimony to this person until the person dies. Yes, but the courts are very careful in awarding this
single,
one.
Right?
Yes, this type of alimony is awarded in marriages that lasted for so long. The parties may even be old. Yes, and one is very rich, and then the other will have to move from the house. You may have to pay alimony periodically to the person until the person dies, whoever dies first, or until maybe the person remarries. So these are the only two conditions that will terminate a permanent alimony. Otherwise, you keep paying till the person dies. The next one, of course, will be the limited duration alimony. That one is limited. The court may limit it on any contingency, on any factor. If they are young, the court may say, okay, maintain her for 6 months or maintain her for 2 years. So the court will set time. So to a woman who is young and can remarry, the court will say, okay, maintain her for 1 year. After 1 year, we all expect that she must have found another man and moved on with her life. Yes. So the next one is what we call rehabilitative alimony. Rehabilitative alimony is usually to put the other party in a state where that party can fend for his or herself. And the court always hinges it on something. So the court can say that, yes, you have divorced your wife. Please put your wife in a skill training, an exact skill training, and pay her alimony until she's done with the skill. And I think this is very, very, very genius. It is very profitable. Instead of telling somebody to pay alimony to the person for so long, why won't you order the person to maybe put this supported party in a skill, some training?
Yeah.
So that by the time the person will be done with the training, she may not need to rely on anybody again. She can fend for herself. So rehabilitative is in that nature. It is always in that nature. They are specific orders. They are geared to put the party being supported in a venture which would, enable that party to acquire skill or trade. And after that event is over, the alimony terminates. So the court is very clear. Put her in maybe a bakery institution. So she goes for the baking training and sets up within a year. The expiration of that training, the alimony terminates, because we can assume that the party can support his or herself from the skill that that party acquired in that venture or training. So that is rehabilitative. The last one and very important one, which is very general, is what we call reimbursement. Reimbursement, this is okay. Let me put the definition in an example.
Okay.
You marry a man and you put the man through school.
Okay.
You put the man through skill acquisition.
Okay.
And the man acquires the skill. And the marriage breaks down. What it means is that you, the person that financed the man through that venture, the marriage did not last long enough to benefit from the investment you did in the man. So if I see you through 4 years university education or 2 years master's degree, and then immediately upon your completion, you think the marriage is not worth it.
You find a better person.
I mean, yes, I've made you a medical doctor. I've made you a pharmacist. I've made you a lawyer. You know, I paid your fees. I invested in you. And now, whatever that I put in you, you want to marry someone else and apply the resources and benefit to that person who did not know how you became who you are today. My friend, you have to reimburse me. So that is the basis for the reimbursement alimony. So these are the 4 types of alimonies. And I think we can rest the discussion. Yes, for today.
It has been an amazing discussion, and I really like the reimbursement alimony, because you cannot help someone, you cannot help build somebody, and then later on the person decides to find a better person, or in quotes.
In quotes.
You know, it's not fair. So it's good that the laws are working, and they are considering all of these. And I think I have more questions or contributions. Aiden Graham he said, why would you be given everything and have grounds to leave your marital home? Oh, I didn't get it. You didn't get it. Okay. It's like he went offline by the time you were answering his question about I think, what was your question again, brother? I think it was about being in a relationship where both families are aware of the movement, and then the financial spending regarding education, and the lady or guy fails to marry as per agreement. Please, our able lawyer has already addressed your question. You can go back, go and watch it again, please. Brother Aiden Grams, I am very sorry, because of time, our lawyer cannot repeat the answer again. Sister Melvis, she says, great topic. Thank you very much, sister. Aiden Grams again, he says, the limited alimony is very good. Yeah, it is. I'm also in for limited alimony and reimbursement. He said, I will take that spouse to Babalao. I mean, the reimbursement, alimony rather. He says if any woman should treat him that way, he would take the person to Malam, Babalao, to get the person. And Sister Mercy, thank you very much. We are so happy to see you. She said he must. That's the man must pay 100%. Yeah, he must, because you cannot waste somebody's time and the person help build your career, and in the end you dump that person. Is not fair. So you are absolutely right. He must pay 100%. Thank you very much. Lovely people. It was an honor having all of you here with us today. And most especially our able lawyer, Kona Martin. You've been a blessing to this channel. Thank you very much for always making time out of your busy schedule to address our concerns. And hopefully we'll see you next week. And we'll continue on property or financial settlement and property distribution, in case anybody has more questions or contributions on this. Other than that, we will continue with our next topic. Okay, thank you. Please, if you have any final advice. Our lawyer has left. Okay, I didn't have the chance to. to talk to him again. Anyway, lovely people, it was an honor having all of you with us today. Thank you so much for your immense support. Without you, full-time bars will not be where we are now. God bless all of you. And please make a date with us next week for another interesting episode. God bless you. Till then, have a lovely evening.